Hello, everybody. So, I want to give you some insights on why you should vaccinate if you want to do it. So, here in the German speaking countries, we have a rate of around 65%, and children below 12 at the moment can't. And that means that quite some people don't get vaccinated. And I want to just try to tell you if it makes sense or not. Okay, so let's have a look at if it makes sense for yourself. So this is a risk calculation. I've done this risk calculation for myself. So I'm at the age 42, and the risk of dying from COVID for me is 1 in 25,000. And to give you some perspective, the risk for me of dying from influenza is 1 in 50,000, I guess. Depends on the strand, of course. So that seems to be quite low. Then the other thing is, if I'm dying from COVID-19 here in Switzerland, and if things aren't going too wrong, maybe you've heard in the news, we have some trouble here. If I'm getting an ICU bed, I have a chance of survival of around 50%, even a little higher. And that means that the chance that I'm actually occupying an ICU bed is 1 in 12,500. Okay, so let's keep this number. And then the other thing is here the COVID-associated hospital admission. It's 1 in 1,357, which is quite higher, in my opinion. It's a serious number of people. And of course, you don't need an ICU bed, but you still will cause stress for the healthcare system, obviously. Okay, but having a look at this number, I would say for myself, it's not very important to get vaccinated. Although the risk here of dying is still double than, for example, for children. But let's keep that numbers. Okay, now let's have a look at something else here. So that's the demography of Switzerland here. And you see here in my age group, the number of people we have in my age group is 1,282. It's 1,282,000. And now let's do some simple math. But before we do the math, let's have a look of how many ICU beds we have in Switzerland. So, and especially how many free beds we have. We have only 257 left, which is quite an alerting number, no? So let's do some math. Let's use a calculator. That's pretty simple, and I've done this before. So if you take this 1.2 million people and the risk of needing an ICU bed, then you still will get more than 1,000 ICU beds needed if all people in my age group would infect themselves at the same time. No? So for example, if we just would remove all the measures, and that's of course only in my age group, so the age groups above me, they have a higher risk, and you can clearly see if we remove all the measures and we are not vaccinated, we will have a real problem here. So that's basically the truth. So in my opinion, for myself, I don't need to get vaccinated because of this low risk, no? But if you take the demographics and the situation in the hospitals into account, you should get vaccinated. And another thing is, everybody says that unvaccinated people are driving the pandemic, but it turns out that at the moment they are just in some sort of lockdown because they don't have much rights anymore. So the unvaccinated people, they can spread the virus nearly equally to the unvaccinated. So it's only 9% difference for the BioNTech Pfizer vaccine after 3 months. And you have maybe heard that you can just cut out the measures. So for example, masks are not required anymore if you are in a 2G. So that means in a only vaccinated and recovered setting. And that means that those people who are vaccinated are spreading the virus even without knowing, because usually they have very low symptoms. And those, of course, can then infect unvaccinated people, which have a much higher risk of taking an ICU bed here. Or, of course, elderly who are vaccinated but don't have the protection anymore. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. I'm not telling you what you need to do. Just have a look at the numbers and then just decide for yourself. And please stay healthy. All the best. Thank you. Bye.